Over the last 5 years, I spent more than $50 million on Facebook ads. For example, $3 million here. Let me just refresh this. $6 million here, another $300,000 here, $3 million here, and I spent it at a profit. So I want to show you in this video exactly how I did it and how you can scale your ads to 7 or even 8 figures profitably. What you learn today is campaign structures that you can use to scale faster and more effectively. You'll learn about vertical and horizontal scaling. You'll learn about lookalike audiences, and you'll learn about retargeting. And here's something I want you to keep in mind. The best media buyers on Facebook, they're like math scientists. You know, they're always testing, observing the data, making some conclusions from that data, and testing some more stuff. And this happens again and again. So let's start with campaign structures and how to prepare your ad account for scaling. So 3 types of campaigns I would recommend for you to have: audience testing, creative testing, and also scaling campaigns. So audience testing campaigns, the purpose of this is to test new audiences to expand and scale horizontally to target new pockets of buyers on Facebook. And these audiences are interest audiences, like single interest, stacked interest, where you have multiple similar interests, and also it's flexed interest, which is narrowed down with another, for example, engaged shoppers. Also, you can have broad, where you have no interest or single large interest, and this can go as high as 100 million in audience size. Another one is lookalikes, which I'll explain a minute later. For budget, I would recommend spend 10 to 15% of your daily budget testing new audiences, $20 per day minimum if you're in the budget, and if you're like spending a lot, still 10-15% of your budget, which could come to hundreds or even thousands of dollars per day. For ads here, you would have to use your best performing ads. This way you only test one variable at a time. And if you ask about ABO or CBO, I would recommend to do ABO here. So you can see each one of these ads is pretty much testing new interests. This interest, for example, is Home Depot. This interest is like dollar store stack, Target, handmade jewelry. Some of these you can see are like vastly like overspending, or they're not getting very good results, like $35 cost per purchase, whereas some only getting like $18 cost per purchase. And so the key for you is to find these key interests while you are scaling your account. Over time, you want to get so much data on your ad account so you don't even need any targeting. You just can go just broad, 25 to 65, all women or men in the United States or all of the countries you are targeting. And then you can just focus on the creative, which is the most important part. Creative testing campaigns. Like, this is my favorite by far. Here you have to take your best performing audience and you would split test various creatives in this campaign for potential scaling. You want to test minimum of 20 creatives per week. I highly recommend for you guys to streamline this process in your business. And if you need help streamlining your content sourcing, content testing, there should be a link in the description. You can join our program called E-commerce Scaling Secrets. We'll literally help you to put all of this together so you can scale your ads to the moon. And the key here will be to utilize UGC, which is user-generated content, micro-influencer ads, carousel ads, testimonial ads, and single image video ads. So this is an example of the testimonial ads. Check it out.
Look, man, breaking up is not easy, man. I get it, you know. It's easier said than done, you know what I mean? Bro, this sucks. That's why I really feel like, you know, you should try and get some therapy, man. Like, I really hate how I feel right now. I'm telling you, bro, listen, I know therapy sounds scary, but that's an opportunity for you to talk to someone that's a professional and can really help you work through the feelings that you're feeling right now, man. Like, better than I can, you know what I mean?
Very nice ad, right? So this is something you can test on a scale, because to make these kind of ads, all you need is your phone. You can have all of these captions done with an app called Captions. It's literally available on App Store. This is just one format. You can see how many formats are here, and you can utilize all of these formats to test new concepts, test new ideas, see what's working, and just double down on that. And also, guys, don't disregard images. A lot of people just focusing on videos. However, images work very well, especially for products that are simpler to understand. For budget for each one of these creatives, I would recommend to have your break-even point. And let's say you're selling the product for $60. Let's say the product costs you $20. You have other fees and shipping. Let's say $25 max. So you have $35, which is your break-even point. And this is what you would spend on each of these creatives to see whether it works or not. You can also have CBO campaign to scale your best audiences and creatives. And if CBOs don't work well for your ad account, create an ABO campaign and test. This is ABO campaign that spent $70,000. And then there is another one here that spent $29,000. That is CBO campaign. At the same time, as you can see, majority of the budget here is spent on the creative tests. Look at this. Click-through rate is like 7%. You have cost per click of 70 cents. Unless you're getting these kind of costs, you have no business scaling. You have to be testing more creatives until you're getting costs that are so low that are are actually scalable. For example, if you had your cost per click of like $3 or $4, there is no way on earth that you can scale those ads. Don't force spend on something that doesn't work or something that doesn't convert. All right, vertical and horizontal scaling. So this is what a lot of people are very excited about, testing new variables with your best performing audiences. So once you've tested these new audiences and you would find which audiences work, you can still expand horizontally with new interests, right? Let's say you want to test your winning creative with new single interests or with new stacked interests, maybe new countries. Let's say you're selling in the United States, but you can fulfill your products from China to any country. I would highly recommend for you to explore some other countries like Australia, UK, Canada, even some countries in Europe, because that will help you to target some buckets of those audiences that are not as competitive, and you will be able to lower your costs. Also genders, let's say you're targeting men, try targeting women. A lot of people have this prejudice, okay, this product is only for men. What if women are making those decisions? This is very simple opportunity for you to scale horizontally. And also placements. Do the breakdown. See where the ROAS is the lowest, right? So cut those placement and only focus on placement that actually work. Guys, by the way, if you want my SOP on scaling Facebook ads, I have this tremendous, very detailed SOP you can replicate and implement today in your business. So just comment scaling below this video and I'll send it over to you. Vertical scaling, increasing the budget for your existing high performing ad sets and campaigns. Before I show you how to scale it vertically, there are two numbers that you really need to know. So break-even ROAS is selling point divided by selling point minus your COGS, shipping, and fees. So let's say you're selling the product for $100 minus all of the fees. Let's say $30. 100 divided by 70. So 1.42 will be your break-even ROAS. This is when you have to evaluate whether, let's say, the ad set or the ad is actually performing good enough for you, or you have to cut it, because half of the success in Facebook ads is actually cutting your losers. Another metric here is target ROAS. So target ROAS is, let's say we have this break-even ROAS of 1.42. Let's say you want to achieve 20% profitability. In that case, you have to add that 20% to 1.42. That would be 1.7x ROAS that you would want to have. I would highly recommend you just focus on break-even ROAS, because that's usually a good indicator. But let's say you want to be less aggressive with your spend. Maybe you just want to be as profitable as humanly possible. In that case, you would cut your ads at 1.7. So two ways to scale vertically. Number one is internal scaling, and number two is duplication. Some of the formulas you can copy for yourself. So if yesterday ROAS is higher than target ROAS, then scale budget by 25%. Why 25%? To avoid learning phase restarting. If yesterday ROAS is break-even ROAS more or less, scale budget by 10% so you can buy more data. And if last 3 days and today ROAS is about break-even ROAS, reduce budget by 25%. You can stabilize it this way. And if last 3 days plus today ROAS is less than break-even ROAS, turn off the asset. So pretty much kill the losers. Now, this is one of my favorite methods called vertical scaling duplication method. If yesterday ROAS is more or less your target ROAS, you would duplicate the same ad set 3 to 4 times at higher budgets. Let's say you have the original ad set at $100, you would duplicate it $150, $200, $250, $300. So you would have all of these different variations, and then you would observe their performance. And if yesterday ROAS is more or less break-even ROAS, no action needed. If last 3 days and today ROAS is more or less break-even ROAS, pause the ad sets, duplicate and refresh the ad sets. And if last 3 days plus today ROAS is less than break-even ROAS, kill your losers. And please note that if duplicating and changing the budget does not work for you, you could try duplicating and changing one variable in each ad set at the same budget. So for example, you duplicate ad set 3 to 4 times and change one thing per ad set except the interest. Let's say in ad set 1, you would change it to men or women only. In ad set number 2, let's say you narrow down the best country, you only targeting one country. In ad set number 3, let's say you narrow down by the age. And let's say ad set number 4, you would narrow down by placements. Whatever those placements are, you would just quickly see whether those perform better than your original ad set. The next variable here is lookalike audiences. I'll just share with you all of these things that are working for us still, but they're not working as good as they did in the past. So 3 examples of lookalike audiences. Lookalike audience based on the customer list and purchases. So this is an audience of users who have similar characteristics to your purchasing customer base. Another one is a lookalike audience based on website visitors, this is an audience of users who have similar characteristics to those who interact with your website. And then lookalike audience based on page followers. You can use your Facebook page followers as a source audience, helping you reach users who share similar interests to those who already engage with your Facebook page. So please note, lookalike audiences, they offer a range of percentage options to define a similarity level to the source audience. So the available percentage options, they usually range from 1 to 10%, where 1% represent the closest resemblance to the source audience and 10% represents a broader reach with potentially lower similarity. I wouldn't say that like 10%, even though like it's bigger audience and it's less resemblance, it wouldn't work. Oftentimes we get 10% audiences working very well and even better than 1%. So I'd highly recommend you test it out. I would recommend start testing it with people who have either watched your ad or engaged with your ad, and then work your way down the funnel. So then you would target people who visited your page, added to cart, initiated checkout, and then customers who purchased. Why? Because Facebook is data driven. So the more data you have, the more powerful the lookalike audience is. So let's say if you had 10,000 video watchers, it's more powerful than if you only had, let's say, 200 buyers, right? Because the buyers audience is very small for Facebook to kind of like really understand who those people are and to create very powerful lookalike audience. So I would recommend to create those audiences as you go down the funnel. CBO versus ABO, a lot of people would ask this, so I decided to answer this. The same principle applies for lookalike campaigns. Test with ABO to find your winning audiences and then scale using CBO. And I would recommend $20 per day ad budget per ABO ad set. So on the fresh campaign, the ideal number of ad sets to test lookalikes would be between 3 to 5. So for example, ad set number 1, lookalike purchases last 7 days, 1 to 4. Ad set number 2, lookalike purchases last 30 days, 1 to 4. Ad set number 3, lookalike website visitors 30 days, 1 to 4. Ad set number 4, lookalike add to carts 30 days, 1 to 4. And then lookalike of people who watch 95% of the video, 30 days, 1 to 4%. Guys, I want to just show you like an example of one of these ad sets that work extremely well. 2% of all buyers from all time, and this ad set has spent $57,000, right? So this is like definitely worth testing. All right, retargeting. Here you'd engage customers who didn't finalize a purchase. Again, retargeting is less effective than it was years ago, but it's still effective and it's something that must be done in every ad account. Retargeting ads are perfectly tailored towards warm leads who didn't convert by delivering personalized messages, potential discount codes, or even UGC testimonials that will alleviate any worries they had about your brand. For example, add to cart last 30 days, exclude purchasers, right? You want to exclude purchasers in any of the retargeting audiences unless you are specifically advertising to people who bought your product to maybe buy your product again or to buy another product from your store, but you want to always exclude purchasers from your retargeting audiences. So initiate checkout last 30 days, exclude purchasers, view content last 30 days, exclude purchasers, 50% viewed video last 30 days, exclude purchasers, 75% viewed video last 30 days, exclude purchases, and so on. And the best ads to run for retargeting campaigns are discounts and testimonials. So for example, this one here, it's a testimonial ad, very cool ad. So pretty much the experience that previous customer had with buying this product. CBO versus ABO, I would recommend again to test with ABO to find your winning audiences, and then you can scale using CBO. And budget for retargeting should be 10 to 20% of your daily ad spend. So on the fresh campaign, the ideal number of ad sets to test retargeting would be between 3 to 5. So for example, add to cart last 30 days, exclude purchasers, initiate checkout last 30 days, exclude purchasers, viewed video 95% last 30 days, exclude purchasers, view content last 30 days, exclude purchasers, and so on. You can optimize these ads for purchases and for conversions. However, if you don't get many conversions, you can also test it optimizing for traffic. And because the traffic is so warm, even traffic optimization can work. So you can see very simple retargeting audiences. Here we even retargeting the engagement, people who engage with the pages, people who initiated the checkout. So literally every single audience we can squeeze more of using the retargeting. Guys, I hope you like this tutorial. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you guys need help with scaling your e-commerce business, getting this hands-on, direct, like one-on-one feedback, there should be a link in the description. Brand Builders Academy, if you're just starting off and you want to get the initial momentum, get to first $1,000 a day in sales. And if you're a more experienced e-commerce entrepreneur, maybe doing 30, 50K per month, and you want to scale to a few $100,000 per month, few $1 million per month, then it's E-commerce Scaling Secrets, our advanced e-commerce program for people that want to take their business to the next level. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit a like button on this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.